Are you a mom that values alone time in the morning before your kids get up and are looking for some ways to get them to sleep maybe just a little bit longer? Then stay tuned for these 5 tips that I personally use to get my kids to sleep in. And people have told me, oh, your kids are great sleepers, which may be true, but I think it is in large part due to these tips that I am going to share with you. Welcome back to Wellness and Motherhood. My name is Kiana, and I encourage women to identify and become the women that God is calling us to be. The reason this video is so important is because it is essential for us to wake up before our kids in order to have that time to be productive and to set the tone for the day. The later they sleep, the more time you have to prepare for the day and ensure the day's success. The first tip to getting your kids to sleep in a little bit later is to make sure that nap time ends at least 4 to 5 hours before their bedtime. So if their bedtime is 8 o'clock, their nap should be over between 3 and 4 if your kids are still taking naps. The second tip is to wear them out during the day. They sleep so much better and they sleep in a little bit later when they've exerted so much energy the day before. So get them out in the sun, have them run, play, jump. If it's raining, go to a trampoline park. Just make sure that they're burning off all of that energy that kids just naturally have. The third step is a consistent bedtime routine. This is so everyone knows what to expect and it helps their bodies to wind down to prepare for sleep and it helps them to have a deeper, more restorative sleep. So whether that's bath, brush your teeth, dinner, bedtime, snack, go potty, whatever order you want to do it in, just try to be consistent so that they put up less of a fight and you get your time in the evening and they get to have a nice restful night's sleep. The fourth step is environment. So you have temperature, sound, and lighting. Cool your house down at night because that helps to facilitate sleep. Also, lighting blackout curtains can be helpful so that the sun doesn't wake them up in the morning and it helps them to fall asleep at night also, particularly if you have like street lights or, some sort of light coming from outside of their window. And then lastly, a sound machine can be helpful because if you're waking up before your kids, you may make some noise in the morning and you do not want to wake them up. So the sound machine can help minimize that sound to help them sleep in a little bit longer. Also, lighting. Can't forget about lighting when talking about environment for going to sleep. We use blackout curtains in our kids' room, and we just want to make sure that they are sleeping in, as long as they possibly can. We don't want the sun, creeping in, waking them up, before we're actually ready for them to get up. The fifth step, these last two are actually big ones for us that are actually really beneficial. And it's to either A, limit fluids before they go to bed because I've noticed that my kids, like they may wake up a little bit earlier in the morning if they went all night and they didn't pee. And so either you limit fluids or you take them to pee in the middle of the night. Like taking them to pee helps them to sleep in a little bit longer because they're not waking up at the butt crack of dawn because their bladder is full. So yeah, limit fluids and or take them to pee in the middle of the night. The last step is to feed them well throughout the day. Fill their little bellies up so that they can sleep nice, snuggly, cozy throughout the night and give you those extra precious moments in the morning. Now, some people may disagree with this, but I encourage my kids to finish all of their food at meals because I noticed that, like, when they sit down for meals, they may take a couple of bites and then they just want to go play. And I don't necessarily think that they're full. I just think that they're not, hungry anymore. And the appeal of playing is greater than the appeal of finishing what's on their plate. So I will let them go take a break and then come back and eat, but I give them portion sizes that I believe is enough for them to fill their bellies, not too little, not too much. And I encourage them to finish their food. Sometimes I have to feed them, while they're running around playing, like, hey, can take a bite, because I know if I don't do that, they are waking up at the butt crack of dawn if they don't eat enough throughout the day. They get breakfast, lunch, dinner, and they get snacks in between those meals. And like I said, I encourage them to eat throughout the day, drink throughout the day, so that I know that they have enough to sustain them throughout the night. And like I said, when I don't do that, they're waking up early. So, in summary, these are things that I do to get my kids to sleep in a little bit later. I found that the bedtime routine is like the least significant, still important, but the other things I think are far more effective. So, like I said, taking them to pee in the middle of the night, filling their bellies throughout the day, make sure I'm limiting nap time at least 4 to 5 hours before bed, and getting them to burn off that energy. Those things get my kids to sleep snugly through the night so I can have my mommy morning routine. And I hope that you found this video helpful. If you implement any of these tips, please feel free to comment down below and let me know if they were effective or not. And I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Bye.